The 2025 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, VAG Automotive Centre Centurion, and EBC Brakes.
Welcome to the final bit of action from the Festival of Motoring at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit and race 2 of round 6 of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Still lots of happy places out there and happy faces as well, because I can tell you there's been an absolutely amazing camaraderie and awesome action provided all weekend long by our Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup competitors. It's such an awesome opportunity for the sponsors behind these incredible riders, not only our main sponsors but their own personal sponsors, to get a chance to be in a crowd of over 30,000 people over a weekend's racing and motoring entertainment provided at the Festival of Motoring. You can see a little bit of chopping and changing that has happened in between the heats to get these motorcycles ready to go now for the 4th time and final time out on track. And as you can see, the crowds are standing by for them to roll out and bring that final bit of race action. Big thanks to our sponsors. Sunbet, Bridgestone, VAG Automotive, and EBC Brakes. And a lot of guys will be thanking their own sponsors as well. Always good to see when the crowds come out as well, a chance to get some autograph cards. And those are certainly some fan favorites out there. And as you can see there on that Sunbet stand, a chance to win a GTI Golf if you get on there. That's a bike that was signed literally by anybody that walked past. Great initiative as well. Just getting an opportunity to get that Kawasaki all signed up. And if you walk past and grab the Koki, you could put your name on it and become famous. It's going to be pretty awesome stuff to see that motorcycle. And a real nice initiative here being put together by the committee to give the crowds and fans a chance to be part and parcel of this historic day at Kyalami for the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. It's been a busy pit lane all weekend long. Lots of crowd, lots of fans, lots of friends and family that have joined us. And it's now time to start getting into race preparation mode. Final adjustments, little tweaks here and there, maybe some extra lubricant on the chain. Tire pressure is important. 1 or 2 tweaks here and there, maybe on the suspension, looking for something special. That little bit extra that comes through. One man who certainly knows how to do that right has not been bettered this season is Steve Cannon. But there's a couple of other guys that are out there, of course, who do an amazing job on the preparation of these motorcycles. We saw in the house yesterday, and probably in the house today, haven't quite seen him yet though, the likes of Ricky Marias, Alan John Fenter are here. It's lucky he does most of his work on his own, but you can see he also helps out Byron Rothwell. The two of them work very nicely together as good friends, but rivals on track. Reggie Seal's bike looks like it's also sorted out. Hopefully all that overheating issue he had has now given, what did he call her? Bertha, a chance to be back at it again. Hopefully that is the case. And now time to get those boots on. Those boots are made for racing. That's what they are, not for walking. There he is. Into the man from M-Tech, and he's helping, of course, Raymond Keel. Long-standing relationship between the two of them. James Barson in the Steel Monkey pit, looking to maybe steal some Steel Monkey clothing there. It's a good idea. And then in there as well with the Juggernaut. So no breakfast at the moment, but maybe getting himself ready for lunch. Lunch will happen after the racing, but we still got to sort out some racing. Bonte Koenig, he's got the eyes on the prize. So is Peter de Vos. Dieter Hazeman looking pretty serious as we're about to roll out now for the next race and final bit of race action from this weekend's Kyalami Festival of Motoring and the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Final wave and some kisses for luck from our Sunbet ladies. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Not quite the Sunbet lady on the end of that road, though, eh? Ian Harwood. He should be on a motorcycle, but I believe the recovery is going well. Can't wait to see you in Cape Town, buddy. Sella, Purificati, and Van Bredal will be the front row. It's basically the same grid as what we saw earlier on in race number 1 of round 6. So watch out for the likes of Bonte Koenig in that top 10 as well for Class C. He's not too far behind his rival, Peter de Vos. He'll be followed by Reggie Seal. Hopefully he's got that bike sorted. As I said, Dieter Hazeman, Safisa Temba, Renatus Finicka, Tyron Piper, Henk Kruger, Johan Leroux, Jacques Cruz, Lubobatso and Sana. They'll be up ahead of Byron Rothkall, Steve Galgocci, Raymond Keel, Nico Zietzman, and look out for the ever-improving Majola and Henk Scaling and Timo Green from the back of the pack. They'll roll now to the line and come under starters' orders. A massive thanks once again to the Orange Army and to Race Control for a spectacular weekend and keeping us safe out on circuit and giving us an opportunity to entertain the big crowds here at the Festival of Motoring. They come to the line, taking up their positions now for this fourth and final heat, the second heat of round 6. And as those lights go out, we will go racing. Oh, a bit of a bucking bronco there for Damien Purificati. That might just give an opportunity for Van Dalen to squeeze through. Yeah, Purificati going to get outgunned as they come across the line. Entercott going with him as well. Damien Purificati got off the line with a huge wheelie, and that's not what you want to do off the line. It's going to cost him dearly as he heads down towards turn number 1. There's definitely going to be a change-up for a man in second place. It's going to be Van Bredar who's going to get second. Whole shot again, 4 out of 4 there for the King Price Kawasaki of Kinsella. But Damien Purificati has been left slightly behind. And he's got a bit of work to do to sneak through now on the likes of the contenders that are just ahead of him. Van Dalen is one of them. Purificati, as you can see, has dropped back a little bit further than that because even Enticott found his way through. So the Cape Town-based rider is loving life here at Kyalami, particularly in this fourth and final heat. And it's, of course, race 2 of round 6, but the fourth race of the weekend here at Kyalami's Festival of Motoring. They come out of Sunset into Clubhouse, and once again we're going to see those little packs starting to form up, and the fight's going to continue. The battles that have raged this weekend have been pretty spectacular, and each and every one of those packs have had their own little in-house fights, and they've shared the honours as well, because not only have you seen the lead rider in those pack leading, but 1 or 2 of the riders involved in those packs have been at the front end of each of those little, what do we call them, smaller battles on the circuit. That's probably a nice way of putting them. But now as they come up onto the braking, and you can see Purificati not happy with his start, but still has not found a way through there on Enticott. He's going to have a go now possibly down into Crocodiles if he gets the drive down the mine shaft, and that's what he's looking to do. He's going to try and squeeze on the inside there and just tick one off at a time. Speaking of ticking them off one at a time, there are a couple of riders in the background that are also starting to tick off a few of those competitors and arch rivals in their own little battles, those little ones we kept talking about, which will rage all race long. Stella now, opening up a good margin, trying to stay ahead of Graham Van Bredar. Remember, Van Bredar could be the only man who could spoil the day there for Kinsella. He's literally just got a mathematical chance after, if Sella gets 4 out of 4 today, heading to Cape Town. I believe there's a possibility that Kinsella's not going to make it to Cape Town, but he doesn't necessarily have to go, because if he does get 4 out of 4 wins, he's going to have about 140-odd point lead over the rest of the pack. So he doesn't really have to make the trip there. The rest of the riders do, and we'll be looking forward to seeing if they all go. I'm not sure if that man is going to make it all the way down to Cape Town, but he's definitely made it out here for today's riding. That's Peter de Vos. Reggie Seal's bike is back up and trucking nicely there as well. Looks like that overheating issue's been sorted out. And then we go back to Galgocci, who's fighting hard there. Henk Scaling not too far behind that, but it was Raymond Keel who's in between the two of them as they came across the line there to complete that lap in anger. Slowly but surely I can see Purificati in the background, just starting to close things down now on the other 2 riders ahead of him. Damien's got the pace. He's probably a lot quicker than those 2 riders ahead, so it shouldn't take him too long to find his way back up into second place. But when you look at the likes of Adrian Van Dalen, who's had such a spectacular weekend and has done some serious changes in his riding skills over this 4-day period, he might be a difficult man to pass. We know, of course, as always, how difficult it is to get through on that Stefanucci stock and Moto Kawasaki that's piloted by multiple champion Graham Van Bredar. But there you go. Oh, we're up 1 position into Clubhouse Corner. We see Purificati up into 3rd. They're chopping and changing here as well. Piper, and I think that might be Reggie Seal, the 2 of them, side by side as they went into Clubhouse Corner. As we see the rear shot here coming out of the S's of Sella and heading up to the top of the hill. Has he pulled a big margin? Yes, he has now. The battle is now for 3rd place. Purificati starting to close things down. And has he got through on Enticott? Yes, he has. So Enticott now drops to 4th. So Dave Enticott losing out there to Purificati. Further behind that, just seeing some battles starting to unfold in the mid-pack and the second pack on the road as well. They come to complete another lap, and it's Sella who's out front and looks like he's going for 4 out of 4. Behind Sella comes the battle for second. Vanberdahl's got second at the moment, but Purificati is up to third and ahead now of Intercot and Van Dalen, so we'll wait and see exactly how that goes. Nice run here from Keith Agliotti, Ridgeway Race Bar, EBC machine, pushing hard. And we've got the John Gonjosi Kawasaki. Nice shot as well of JLR. Nice recovery from JLR. Can you believe that man went down in a pile at Crowthorne yesterday? Hurt his knees quite badly. And he's riding basically on adrenaline out there on that Abadan Kawasaki of his. Jacques Cruz, another one of his rivals in the Class C battle, also having a really good outing this weekend. And looking to possibly at least get an overall podium for the weekend. That'll be what Jacques Cruz's target is, and of course goal would be for this final heat. Intercot, as I said, making a welcome return here. Great to have the man from Cape Town back in the pack. But I think Dave Intercot might just be finding it a bit more difficult to stay with the pace there of Damien Purificati and Vanberdahl now that they're fighting for second and third. This is the second pack on the road. And as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit more busy there between them. James Barson hasn't quite got to them yet there on the Steel Monkey Kawasaki, but he'll look to try and close that gap down. I think Safisa Temba was just behind them. Then we go back to this one. This is Tyron Piper side by side there. Coming from the back is Dieter Hazeman trying to find a way through. And Piper has got some up close and personal traffic there, that is for sure. It's good to see. He's fighting it hard there. It's the kind of race action we love to see. Ibobala and Sana comes out of Yuxke onto the short straight past the pit lane. On the left hand side, of course, is where the ZX10s are pitting for the weekend, up with the road going cars and all the road vehicles as opposed to the performance vehicles that are down in the main pit lane. Timo, well, he's had a busy weekend. Short circuit racing yesterday, big circuit racing today. Take nothing away from Timo Green though, he is back in it and enjoying himself out there. He of course runs on the Sunbet and Bridgestone sponsored bike. But Timo, of course, one of our short circuit racing specialists. I'm finding it maybe a little bit difficult to sort of step in on the last day to try and keep up with the pace that's already been set with the rest of the riders that are out on track. That pace is heating up, as you can see. The first battle just went through now. As the second little battle comes in, Hazeman seems to be losing a little bit of ground there. So I wonder if now that Byron Rothkull has joined that, by the looks of things, I think that was Rothkull in that pack as well, who's joined that party. It's now a five-way fight for that third little battle that's raging out on track. Once again, look at the gap here between Sella as he comes out of the S's. He's up to the top of Leocup before we even see the second place bike, and it looks like it is now Purificati. Yes, he is. Damien's got ahead now of Graham Vanberdahl, GVVD, still leading Class B, but now third on the road as they head up towards Leocup. Get confirmation of that as they come under braking. We're waiting for them to come up to the top of the hill. Here they come. And as they come through there, yes, indeed, that is exactly the case. And then Adrian Van Dalen just behind that. So that's kind of how things have gone. As we now pick up on this little second pack of riders. In that pack of riders, of course, we've got Newland, you've got Agliotti, and you've got Hein McMahon. McMahon on that K9 Enforcement Kawasaki, doing a super job. Much better from him this time out. And certainly looking to at least be on the overall podium for Class A. That would be his goal, I'm sure, by the time they wrap things up here at the end of this 8-lapper. 4 8-lap races around Kyalami, so that's, what's that, about 8 times 5.5. So 40 times 4, it's about 170 odd Ks of racing they've done over 2 days. And of course, they've also had a couple of practice and qualifying sessions. All their practices are qualifying, of course, in ZX10 Masters Cup. But it's been a long weekend of racing. But I can tell you right now, there's not one rider in this stable or down in the pit lane that was unhappy about the fact that we got a chance to come and race here at the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit and at the Festival of Motoring. It's really, really an honor and privilege to be part and parcel of such an amazing event. And that's why, as I said earlier on, the reason for Sunbet giving us this chance and all our associate sponsors and each of the rider sponsors a chance to have a go here at the Festival of Motoring and entertain these big crowds. Another lap completed. Dieter Hazeman hasn't quite got the pace here. He's pushing hard, but he hasn't quite got onto the back end of that, or the front end, I should say, of that little fight he's in. Jacques Cruz is kind of in no man's land there as well, battling a little bit. Looks like Byron Rothkull might have dropped back slightly as well, all on his own some now. Galgocci still doing a superb job. Steve Galgocci looking for a chance maybe to still stay in the top 5 for Class B. He's on the MTech Performance bike and 2M trailers. So being helped out there by Ricky Moraes, the man we mentioned earlier on in pit lane. So nice to see that there's a lot of guys that have got the support on the sidelines. Labuskakny, of course, is the man who helps out with Graham Van Berdar's setup. Peter's does such an amazing job on that bike. He really does. They work so well together. These guys working nicely together, fighting hard, but the battle is on. Coming up on some back markers. Timo about to be caught in past. This might not be a bad thing here for Timo Green. I think that's the one lap board that Steve Cannon's about to give to, yeah, there we go. 1 lap to go for Kinsella. Just giving him that indication. Timo just didn't quite survive being lapped. Don't worry, Timo, I know how that feels. He's done that to me on a few occasions. You would think he'd just slow up and give you a chance to finish the race, but no, that's not what Kinsella is all about. Kinsella's about getting the job done and getting the job done as quickly as possible. He's doing a really good job of it here right now as he fixed that all gold King Price, Liqui Moly and PS brand Kawasaki of his through the S's for the last time in anger. Looking for 4 out of 4. Looks like he's going to get that. And it's going to be like a, could we say, I suppose we could say it's a 4 King Price victory there for him. Very nicely done. But still got a little bit of work to do. This is McMahon on board with him as we're coming into the closing stages. And he's looking to try and squeeze through here if he can. Not sure he's going to get that done, but you can check how hard he is pushing. Looking around the outside of Leeuwkop, putting the pressure on. He just find a way through. Doesn't look like there's going to be an answer there. No, doesn't look like it at all. As they come back up onto braking, we'll go a little bit further back there, picking up on Tyron Piper. Dieter Hazeman as they head down into the closing stages here. So this is how things could wrap up in the last part of this final race of the Festival of Motoring side of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Sella into the final corner, and this is certainly a swan song victory here for him. As I said, I believe he might not be making it to Cape Town for the next round, but he doesn't necessarily have to go. The 4 victories he's obtained over this weekend are going to give him a 143-point advantage over his closest rival. So that's good enough for him to maybe take a little sabbatical. I was hoping he was going to go to Cape Town because I was looking for him to sort of see if he could do the unthinkable, which only a couple of riders have done in the past in ZX10 Masters Cup, and that's win every single race that you enter. Graham Van Berdaar on his way to another victory in Class B coming out of that final turn. And going to be wrapping up a good weekend there for him as well in terms of the Class B fight. Keeps him in the hunt for the overall as well. That's also important. Great to have this man back on a motorcycle again. And looking forward to seeing more of him at his home circuit in a few weeks' time. But now, as they come into the closing stages here, Hein McMahon looks like he's got through on Newland and on Agliotti. So the 4-bike just getting up ahead. Getting that X-Pro Security Solutions and K9 Law Enforcement Kawasaki up ahead of Agliotti on the Ridgeway race bar and by a clean SA bike. The number 2 machine, as I said, we spoke about him earlier on. Mark Newland had problems yesterday. Looks like he sorted them out today. That is a really nice recovery for the Fafu electrical man. Spectacular, and I can't say much more about this man than what I've said all 3 races before this. Just the stalwart and one of our original riders from the very first grid that lined up as ZX10 Masters Cup. Peter de Vos in the house again. Piper being outgunned here right into the final corner. Dieter Hazeman, you cheeky devil. I think he might even sit Piper up here. Yes, he has. Piper had to think twice about that. Hazeman got on the brakes late enough. Those EBCs worked perfectly into Ingwe corner, and he's going to squeeze through and sneak a victory over the man he's been fighting with over the last 8 laps. That's a little cheeky, but needless to say, it's how it's done. You got to get to the checkered flag first if you want to be involved in the victories. And there you go. Final salutes and final wave to this big crowd who stuck around to enjoy all the race action here from Kyalami. As the riders make those final salutes, it also gives us an opportunity to thank Sunbet, Bridgestone, VAG, Automotive, Centurion, and EBC Brakes for this awesome coverage. And of course to Beam Productions and to Sean Portman from Motor Rider World for all the background information and all of the editing process that went behind putting the productions together for all 4 races. To our Kyalami Marshals, of course, you partner up with the SWAT Corps Marshals now. It's a joint venture between the two of them for keeping us safe on track. Our medical team, who really weren't called into action over this weekend. Fortunately, that's a good race weekend if you don't have to call the medical team in. And, of course, to all of our associate sponsors that are involved in every single one of these riders' lives, giving them a chance to be part and parcel of this event. A massive thanks to all the rider sponsors out there. We do appreciate it. And to the friends, fans, and family that came to watch, and to all our new fans out there on the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit, hopefully you'll be watching us on our live stream coverage as we go to Cape Town, the Kyalami International Raceway, over the weekend of the 12th and 13th of September. So looking forward to some more race action from ZX10s. We've still got 2 more rounds after that as well to sort out, so it's not done yet. There's still a lot of race action to come here from the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup as our riders make their way back into Park for May to wrap up a spectacular weekend's racing. And I'm sure a lot of guys are going to be giving some big high fives and lots of love to each other. The camaraderie afterwards is what makes this series such an awesome series to be part and parcel of. And it really is great to see the amount of support that they get, not only on track, but off track as well. Family affairs, you can see the youngsters, older riders, seasoned campaigners, multiple SA champions, multiple ZX10 Cup champions in GVBD, and a stalwart as well. Yeah, that's a well-earned energy there, brother, that's for sure. Jar had a good day? Yes, he did indeed. Fantastic to see these guys just loving all of the race action that's happened out there. Even the brothers. Oops, how did we go this time? He's going to tell you all about it. There was a little squirrel here, a little squirrel there, got it all sorted out. Tyrant Papa stayed upright this time. Oh, yeah.
That was tough.
That's awesome to see. But we've still got some race action to come your way. And as I said, it's not done yet in this championship. The big man looks happy. James Barson looks happy. It's always good to see there. Little steel monkey smile. Henky and Keel. And JLR. Well, there he is. The old man in the mountains. Man alive, this man can still pedal a motorcycle, and there's a lot of riders out there that would love to have his skill. Good to have this man back as well. Great to have Henk Scaling. Character in this field. And that's the kind of love and support that you get at the end of the day. Senna taking the victory for Class A ahead of Damien Purificati. Graham Van Bedard takes 3rd overall, but Class B's win. And it's Intercot will get the 3rd place in Class A. Class B 2nd place goes to Mark Newland. 3rd place to James Barson. It is going to be a win in Class C, by the looks of things, for Peter de Vos. Yes, he came through there ahead of Johan Leroux. And I think Brian Bontekonen must have had some issues in the closing stages because he's dropped out of it, as you can see there. Jacques Cruz will come through for 3rd place. That will probably secure Jacques Cruz an overall Class C podium for the weekend. And I'm just picking up, Bonte, with some issues there early on, did not finish this race. So he's had a tough weekend. Hoping to come back, I think, in Cape Town and see if he can redeem himself as we go to the Mother City for the next round of ZX10 Masters Cup.
We're here with Mark Newland. Mark, round 6 of the 2025 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup here at Kyalami, the Festival of Motoring. A good day out for you. First of all, we haven't seen you for a while. So where have you been? And then, secondly, a great day out. 2nd overall in the Grandmasters. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so last year, October, I got T-boned a Red Star. So I ended up with pins and stuff like that in my tibia and plates and stuff. So I haven't been back on the bike. It's actually my first race back. So had good fun. Oh, man, it was awesome. I just said to Slucky now, out of the 3 years of us doing this year has probably been my favorite. The morale in the pits has been fantastic. Awesome having water from the sponsors. Bridgestone tires were fantastic. EBC brakes. So it's actually the first time I've used them. They do brake late. I actually quite enjoy them, And then obviously I just want to say thanks to 80 from Bag as well. All the sponsorship is really appreciated. And apart from that, I actually had so much fun, especially in race 2. I was quite excited when Damien fluffed his start because I was like, what? now we can go and play. And I was hoping he was going to tow us, but yeah, but by the time I got past Brian and that, they'd actually checked out. But it was awesome. It's always good to come to Kyalami. It's my 3rd time here. And I just find that every time you kind of come out here, you get quicker and quicker, which is actually quite lekker. But yeah, again, great event by Brian and everybody's involved. I really, really enjoyed it. Media has been fantastic, obviously, with Beam and yourselves. So yeah, thank you, everybody. You guys have made it special.
There we go. Are we going to see you out for round 7?
Hoping to, yeah. I'm meant to be going back to get the pins and stuff taken out in October. So I'm going to go see the surgeon. If he's not going to pull them out, I'm going to enter. I just
do it. Go to the surgeon after.
Yeah.
We'll see you then.
Awesome. Thanks.
Cool. Awesome. Well done again.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we didn't really mention Bron and the team behind the scenes, but Bronwyn Golgochi and all of her team that put in the effort behind the scenes to make sure that the prize giving all happens and all the logistics behind the race day take place as well. We can't do it without them, so massive thanks to them as well. And then, of course, it's time now to get our riders up on the podium for the final time here at Kyalami. Ja Cruz, oh, interesting stuff there. Cruz, Gill, and yeah, nice to see that as well at the front end. Then Class B honours, nice run there from the Class B riders too. Class A eventually, as you saw from Stella, taking the 4 out of 4. That's going to help him out in this championship big time.
The 2025 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, VAG Automotive Centre Centurion, and EBC Brakes.